unit, we're going to be looking at biological beginnings, how conception occurs with human beings. And I think it's so important that we have an understanding of this, in part because all human beings are put together by God in a wonderful, glorious, miraculous kind of way. Since the first family, all human beings have been born as a result of a male sperm and a female egg coming together and conception occurring. And it's a miraculous process, which I think will be quite informative for you to study and will be helpful for you as you minister. There are so many couples who experience miscarriage who are struggling, journeying through infertility. And even those who have achieved pregnancy, their bodies are undergoing significant changes. There's things happening of which they are not even completely aware. And so I think this will be quite an informative study for you and will help you as you minister to people who are in the stage of life where they are desiring to expand their families, and frankly, even sometimes those who have found themselves pregnant, who have not desired to expand their family, whether they are teenagers or adults, and the significant things that happen in order for that pregnancy to have occurred in the body, not just culturally speaking. Conception is an amazing and incredible thing. And it's actually not that easy to come by. It doesn't just happen in that sense. There's many things that have to come together and work just right in order for conception to occur. In any given month, if a couple is age 29 to 33 with a normal functioning reproductive system, they only have a 20 to 25% chance of conceiving a child. After 6 months of trying, only 60% of couples will actually conceive without some type of medical assistance. So it's very important that we understand the reproductive process and the options that are out there that can actually assist as we are attempting to achieve a pregnancy. So let's look at the events and the conditions that have to come together perfectly for a baby to even be conceived. The woman must release a healthy, mature ovum, egg, which has to be picked up by a healthy, functional fallopian tube. All of these terms will become very familiar to you as you study reproduction. The man must produce a healthy sperm and deposit it in the vagina near the cervical opening. Once deposited, only 10% of sperm actually survive to penetrate the cervical mucus. And so it's miraculous that of all the many, many ones that begin that journey, only one actually makes it to the egg. The couple is going to have sexual relations, or there has to be an IVF treatment, some kind of reproductive assistance, at or around the time of ovulation, because sperm only live for about 48 hours. So it's important that when couples are trying to achieve pregnancy, that the timing is important, because you can't just have sexual relations at any time and achieve a pregnancy, because the egg must be in just the right place at just the right time. Fertilization is another important part of the reproductive process, of course. And so sperm have to be good swimmers, they have to be hardy, they have to get to where they're going to go. These tiny microscopic cells have to make it through the cervix, through the uterus, into the fallopian tube. Only one healthy egg must breach an egg's protective layers, and there's more than one layer that it must penetrate in order for conception to take place. DNA is also involved here. This is your deoxyribonucleic acid, which is the blueprint of who you are. The fertilized embryo must receive the correct number of chromosomes from both the egg and the sperm. And while some embryos with faulty DNA continue on with development, which results, and I hate to even say faulty DNA, let me rewind that for just a moment. While some embryos are going to have DNA with complete chromosomes, some do not. and that is going to result in a genetic disorder such as Down syndrome. And the reason that I say it's not necessarily faulty is because God designed each and every human being as He so chose. He fearfully and wonderfully made each one of them. Before they were formed in the womb, He knew them. And so I do not want any of us to ever consider that a person with Down syndrome or any other genetic disorder is in any way faulty or deficient. Most of those fertilized eggs that have some faulty, if you will, or some problems, many of those, if not most of those, will discontinue cell division. And when that happens, the body of the woman will release those, and sometimes she will never even know that she was pregnant. The womb, the uterus, the wall of the uterus must be healthy and ready to allow a fertilized embryo to implant. All of these things have to come together. The fact that conception happens at all is truly a miracle, because all of those things have to come together at just the right time and in just the right way for conception to happen. If there is a failure of the sperm or the egg to make an important connection anywhere along this very complicated itinerary, then that will prevent pregnancy from occurring. And to complicate matters, genetic miscoding will often lead to the embryo not implanting or disintegrating soon after implantation. There's one estimate that between 60 and 80% of all naturally conceived embryos are simply flushed out of a woman's body during her normal menstrual flow. And the older woman actually has a more difficult time in achieving a pregnancy. The older a woman gets, the less chance she has of getting pregnant. According to the Association of Reproductive Medicine, a woman over the age of 40 has only a 5% chance or less of becoming pregnant naturally in any 1 month. So the older that a woman gets, the older her eggs are, the more unhealthy those eggs may be. And so it's quite necessary for an older woman trying to achieve pregnancy to seek medical assistance. I want to show you some models that I have of infants, fetuses, if you will. These are fetal models that I have that I saw at a pro-life organization had a display out, a ministry organization did, and I thought I really need those for my class. And so the library here at NOBTS ordered these, so our institution owns these. So if you're a student here, you also would have access to these. But these are models that I have that show you the size that a fetus would be inside a mother's womb at a particular time. So I'm going to pick these up one at a time and show these to you. The first one that you see here in my hand, this is at 12 weeks of conception. So at 12 weeks of conception, we would say that is about 3 months pregnant here. A full-term pregnancy is 40 weeks. So this is at 3 months, and I don't know if, can y'all zoom in on this with the camera? I don't know if you can or not, but I'll hold this here. At 3 months, you can see the fetal model is made to represent the infant just as the fetus, just as it would look in the womb. And so you see already that there are hands and feet and ears, and this is all this is well defined already by the end of the third trimester, the first trimester of pregnancy, which would be the 3rd month of pregnancy. So this is 12 weeks, and you can see this in my hand, the size of this. If you were in class with me, I'd pass this around and let you hold it and see. They're actually even weighted so that they would weigh what the actual fetus would weigh inside the woman's body. I like to refer to these as babies, not just fetuses, but this is a 12-week-old in the womb. Okay, now the next one that I'll pick up is 20 weeks in the womb. And so we're going to go from 12 to 20 weeks right here. So just 2 months later, we have significant growth here. You can see that it's quite different in size. So 20 weeks here. The next one that we have to look at is 26 weeks. So in just 6 weeks, we see a significant amount of growth here. And when you read your chapter 2 of the Essentials book there, your lifespan book, you will see that a baby born at this time is viable, meaning will survive outside the womb. Receiving medical attention can survive outside the womb. So to me, the sanctity of life is important, that we understand the sanctity of life and that we are proactive in protecting our unborn children. Really, when they're born anywhere from 22 to 26 weeks, 22 is really on the younger end, but this child here is 20 weeks. In 2 weeks from the time that this child in my hand would be born, 22 weeks to 26 weeks, that child is viable to live outside the mother's womb. Today it is with medical intervention. It would not have been possible 50 years ago. It had been quite the miraculous survival at that point. But today, these babies survive in a neonatal intensive care unit in a hospital, but yet they do survive. So this is quite small. You can see these babies can be held in your hand. The last one that I'll show you is a 30-week. This one is certainly much more formed. It's bigger. And you can see that this fetus, this baby, is actually sucking, I will say, her thumb. The babies are not an it. Babies are either boys or girls, aren't they? And so this baby is sucking her thumb, and she is about the length of the fingertip, not even to my elbow. So just above my wrist, and you can see she's still quite small. It's quite amazing that a child will go from this to a 8 or 9 pound, 10 pound infant at birth, and then to weigh as much as they do even by age 1. So there's rapid growth in these months of development in that first year in the womb, and then the first year out of the womb, that first year of life. So if we can look at them again, 12 weeks in the womb, 30 weeks in the womb. Before a woman knows that she is pregnant, before a girl knows she's pregnant, this is 3 months in the womb. Those organs form in the first 8 weeks in the womb. And so this child here has heart and lungs and eyes and ears. And all of these things have kidneys. All of these things have been formed oftentimes before it's even known that you're pregnant. And that's why it's so important that we understand how to take care of our bodies when we are of childbearing age. So I hope you enjoy your study. If you have any questions, please let me know.